Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
The Bad Boys of Comedy Tour.
We're back. I'm just going to work out where we're going. Lake Bolac.
Lake Bolac.
I
can say Lake Bolga.
Like, oh, we're going to get there at 8:03. That's not bad. We're meant to be on at 8. All right. It's not too bad. Happy with that.
Happy with that.
Lake Bolac. Do you know anything about Lake Bolac?
No. I was gonna do some study on it.
Really?
Yeah, because I got inspired by what's his name, Heath, who does Randy.
Oh yeah, he does. Does he look? Well, it's a good idea if you're going to a country town.
Yeah.
Just Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah. Is that what you've done? You know?
Yeah. Did you want me to look up some stuff now?
Yeah, go on. Look up Lake Bolac. Because I went to jewellery, and I knew about jewellery.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew about the letters, Ned Kelly's letter that he wrote.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what it was about. It was like a political statement.
Oh.
Not that they gave a shit about that. When I did Finley, I said, because they hate each other, jewellery and Finley, they're like down the road from each other.
Oh, really?
Well, you know that small town rivalry.
Yeah.
You grew up in the country.
Okay, what do we got here? Lake Bolac is a town in the Western District region of Victoria, Australia, in the rural city of Ararat.
Wow, it's a long way away.
So there's not much.
Notable alumni or people that, Billy Brownless or someone who grew up there?
Yeah, I'm just having a look. More about Lake Bolac.
More.
That's it.
That's it.
It doesn't have a Wikipedia page or anything.
Jeez.
It's just got things. Lake Bolac information, accommodation guide. Okay, Lake is a small town within a rich wheat growing and cattle area. Okay. A collection of shops and few historical buildings centre around the junction of Glen Elg. There is the Lake Bolac Hotel, which is built out of bluestone. So there you go, mate. You got your bluestone material.
We got that bluestone material.
I wouldn't be surprised if you did.
Bluestone. It's pretty expensive, isn't it? They used to build gutters out of it. What's with that?
Limestone. Fuck that.
Sandstone. That's for people from Sydney. Round of applause. Standing ovation.
Sometimes I've done little things like that and think it's not going to get a laugh, but because it's remotely local,
they love
it. You've done a little bit.
I love it. When I was in Finley, I said, you know what the jewellery letter said? Yeah. And they were like, no. I said, let's get the fuck out of jewellery. It's like, yeah, stuff them.
I always do one if the small town's got a travel agency. I go, oh man, I don't know why you guys have got a travel agent. Like, who'd want to get out of here? Like, that place must be broke. And then if it doesn't have a travel agency, I go, oh, this place, you know what? It doesn't have a travel agency. You know why? Because who would want to get out of here?
Definitely do that tonight.
Okay, here it is. The primary attraction in Lake Bolac,
here we go.
known locally as the home of aquatic sports, is the 1460-hectare freshwater lake, which shares its name with the town, obviously.
There's a lake in Lake Bolac. Sometimes those lakes are dried up, though.
Yeah. Well, like Lake Bolga. Yeah. It's not dried up, but it
gets wet at some part of the year.
Yeah. Okay, so historically noted for its abundance of eels during the autumn rains. Yeah.
A bit of eel material.
Yeah.
You have fried rice with eels at the local Chinese takeaway?
Yeah.
Get it from the lake?
Tell you what, I heard that. Oh fuck! I was trying to draw like a metaphor there between the eel and a dick.
You guys got big eels.
I heard you guys got the biggest eels in Glen Elg, in the Glen Elg district.
Anyway, look, we'll tune back in.
Yeah.
Because we've got 3 hours to drive to this gig.
Yeah.
It's a footy club. It's a reverse draw, which is always risky because you know how these work.
No.
It's like they all pay $50.
Okay.
And then there's a pool of money, say 10 grand, and one guy wins it.
Whoa.
Like you get a number at the start of the night, and they draw out the numbers as you go along.
Yep.
And sometimes they'll get us, the comics, to draw them out. So you'll go 56, Macca. Oh, fuck off! Yep. Don't draw my name out, you prick. You know, so everyone hates you because. And so the people that get their numbers drawn out, guess what they do? They just get on the cans because they got no investment anymore in the night because their number's been drawn out.
Are they going to have that after the comedy though?
They're going to do a bit. They're going to do a few numbers before us, and then some numbers after us. No, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
I'm always flipping a coin here. You usually go good, but sometimes there's the ones like when we did Sale Cricket Club.
Yeah.
And I got him in the end, but bloody hell, it was hard work.
Yeah. Well, that's like when we did. What was it, Moe?
Yeah,
bro. You smashed. You got an encore, remember?
Yeah.
You smashed it. But yeah, I think with you, I think they'll either really get into you straight away, or they'll just take a while to get it.
Yes. Yep.
So I reckon Sale is a little bit more, even though it's very close to Moe, like what would it be, 80 k's away? But they're a world apart though. Sale are a bit not posh, but they're more well-to-do than Moe, that's for sure. More farmers and stuff, less power workers.
I hate doing heaps of locations where they get nuances, and then you go and do it like that cricket club thing, and then you go, holy shit, they don't get nuances at all.
Oh yeah.
Little,
like a good comedy crowd.
Yeah,
they'll laugh at the setups and stuff. And if you're you do a lot of stuff where you're sort of being not ironic, but you're sort of mocking the form of comedy.
Yeah,
you're going, you know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I just did Malaysia, and
do they get nuances?
Yeah, they did. And then the comics, like I wasn't performing alongside any big Malaysian stars.
But I didn't think there were any, apart from Ronnie Chang, of course.
There's like 4 or 5 working comics in Malaysia that are...
Yeah, it's a big population.
But they actually said, I was performing probably the open micers to, semi-pro kind of guys, and they said, oh, wow, we didn't think irony would work here, so... We're going to try it here. Yeah, they said, we're going to try it more, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Nick Capper's on the Debrief. He's been a regular performer on here, guest.
Yeah.
Because he's one willing to come to the country to do these shit gigs.
Yeah.
There's a few. There's you, Oaksy, Barks.
It was this or Castlemaine.
Yeah, well, you made the choice.
Yeah.
You made a good choice. Castlemaine's a lot closer, though.
Yeah, it was half the money.
Yeah.
So I decided to go with the...
And you're getting a lift. And you get to go on a podcast.
Oh, man. Yeah, I want to get to... Man, look, I know 2.5 hours drive is a long time, but, once... You've got enough battle stories since last time I saw you.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And then plus, we always touch on a bit of pop culture.
Yeah,
latest movies, music.
Yeah, music and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be all right.
Yeah. It'll be better than yesterday. I was in Queensland doing a gig. The Southport Sharks.
Oh, yep.
One of the biggest AFL clubs, mate.
Oh, wow.
And I always, when I go to the Gold Coast, I always just say to them, I'll get a hire car because it's quite spread out.
Yep.
And then I can just go to the beach, go for a walk or if I see a bakery. I know I've been there so much. I know a good bakery now.
Yeah.
Like a taxi driver told me, you got this, and it's a great old-fashioned bakery.
Yep.
And they're like, nah, Bob's going to pick you up in the courtesy bus from the RSL. Now, Bob was about, I reckon, he told me how old he was. He was 75.
Yeah.
And he had a hearing aid, so I sat in the back of the bus, and I couldn't see anything outside. I couldn't see anything outside because they had big posters on the side of what's coming up at the RSL.
Yeah.
And he kept talking to me, but then occasionally would turn around and look at me because he couldn't hear me. Because he had a hearing aid on. So he's driving in, and it was very Gold Coast traffic. He goes, I grew up in Kent. Where'd you grow up, David? Mitcham. In Melbourne. He goes, I'm from Melbourne. Where in Melbourne, David? And he turned around and looked at me. I'm like, Bob, drive the bus, mate. Anyway.
Just keep driving the bus.
Just drive the bus, Bob.
There was this...
it was a good gig.
I was in... when I was in Malaysia, this bloke... I got in the taxi with this bloke, and I loved him. He was great. He was filling out some kind of form as he was driving. He was filling some form out in the steering wheel.
Yeah.
And I said, got a bit of paperwork, huh? And he goes, yeah, taxes. And then just looks back at the...
Doing his taxes.
Yeah, he just looked at me as I was talking to him. Yeah, they'll kill you one way or another.
Yeah, exactly. Well, keep listening because we've got a 3-hour drive and then a gig. You guys we'll be back in 10 seconds. Post-gig.
It's post-gig.
What are we predicting, though? I reckon it'll be less than 100 blokes, mainly men.
Yeah.
Sitting around.
These country gigs, this is what's great about watching you, is you kind of there, even though they're all different, they're all the same to you.
Oh yeah.
Whereas
right.
me, I'm flipping a coin. I'm putting all my chips in here, and I don't know which way it's going to go. Because that's what makes you into a better comic, I reckon. Is dealing with so many different environments.
Oh, it's true. That's true. And then just going, oh fuck it.
Yeah.
And reacting to what's going on around you or what's happening.
Yep.
You know, kind of. Yeah. I was telling someone I did a gig in Tyab, which is an outer area near Frankston, sort of, near Hastings.
Yeah.
We had the cricket club or the footy club, and all night the bartender had his 3-year-old daughter sitting on the end of the bar, like sitting on the bar, like an ornament. And no one and I said to the guy running the gig, what's the story with the little kid? Ah, fuck. Reckon I couldn't get a babysitter, the fucking idiots. And so anyway, no one had commented though. None of the young comics. No one had, and I just got up and I went, look guys, I've had a few bongs, but is there a kid sitting on the end of the bar? Is that real? A kid? Went over very well.
Oh, that's good.
Called it out, man.
Yeah.
I reckon there could be kids in Lake Bolac. You never know with these gigs.
Yeah.
A couple of kids running around. You all right with them, mate? And you always go, well, I'm going to swear. And there's adult sort of, they've heard everything. Oh, really? Have they? Really? They're 4 and they've heard your like 69er soldier routine. They've heard that, have they?
Yeah.
They're big Nick Kappa, Dave O'Neill fans. They've heard our routines. All right. Here we go. All right, we'll keep listening to the debrief with Nick Kappa.
Yeah. Thank you.
Get rid of my chewing gum. Now, the debrief is supported by supersimplecards.com. Get a pack of greeting cards from Super Simple Cards using the code DEBRIEF at the checkout. Supersimplecards.com. Check them out. Look, they're made in Australia. They're made in Gippsland. And they're powered by solar. Yeah, there's no trees to cut down to make the cards. And the cards are compostable too. You can chuck them in the compost when you're finished with them, if you receive one. So find a link in the show notes or go to supersimplecards.com. Get 10% off your entire order when you use the code DEBRIEF at the checkout. All shipping is free. Get a great pack of environmentally friendly cards. It'll save you time and money. Yeah, it's a good idea. Go to supersimplecards.com. All right, back to the show. All right, we'll be in touch. We've done Lake Bolac. We're just driving out. I've got to have it back into the car.
Oh, yeah, watch it.
How do you describe the gig, Nick?
A lot of anxiety. Like when we first got there, I thought, Blake, because country people stare at you when you walk into a place. I think in a bar or something in the city, people don't stare at you when you walk into a bar.
Well, we had to ask directions in the pub here, and that you did, and they stared at you there, didn't they?
Oh man, it was like doo-doo-doo, doo-doo.
That's more.
And this bloke goes, "Are you in the band?" And then they all laughed. They all cracked up.
That was his joke.
Man, you should have seen it. This bloke walked in. He looked like a fucking
hippie buddy.
Nutcase. Hey, I said, "Are you in the band, mate?" Oh, fuck, we laughed.
Fuck, it was funny.
Fuck. Best thing that happened in here in 10 years.
Because it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, man, it is.
We drove for hours to get here. It's between Ballarat and Hamilton, but we didn't see hardly any cars once we went through Ballarat.
No, you know we've done a few far out drives, but when there's just nothing, you're like, fuck, where are we?
Well, if you go to Gippsland, it's all sort of built up.
Yeah.
But here... But anyway, we get there and it's in a big footy club sort of hall, their rooms, I suppose you call it. And there's just kids running around. There's old people. There's the young players. There's the girlfriends. There's the netball team. And it's just like... And then so it's a reverse draw. So someone's going to win money. But as I said before, if the people that don't win money don't really care. And then the guy introduces me, who's a lovely guy, Brad, who'd be about my age. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the comedian Dave O'Neill. That was it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so then I did at least 20 minutes probably, then I brought you on.
Yeah.
Then I did you did about 15, 20, then I did another 5 or 10 at the end.
Yeah,
We gave him value for money.
We did.
I reckon we were on stage for at least, not an hour, but 50 minutes.
And you were on form. You went on there and really lit it up.
Man, I just started paying out. But
yeah,
the thing about, like, there was a guy sitting at the front in a nice jumper with a short haircut with a tan. I go, you're a farmer, you're loaded, eh? And of course he was. He was like the richest guy in the room, they reckon.
You missed an opportunity when that family walked out.
Oh,
because the bloke had a checkered shirt and a red hat. And I said, I bet that bloke's driven a header. Like,
So,
you just know a bloke has driven a header.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, you got the check shirt,
See,
the
but I don't
red
even know
hat.
what a header is.
To harvest wheat. Oh, sorry, I thought you'd know. Because you know every other bloody job.
Oh, but so, yeah, okay. Well, you should have said that. Oh, you weren't.
No,
you were on stage.
I wasn't on stage. But oh man, it was the greatest. Because the weirdest thing is, an inexperienced guy, or a guy at my level, when they're paying out on the audience, you go, this person has worked themselves into a hole that they therefore had to get out of comedically to get the night back on track for jokes.
Yeah, right. And that's when you start paying out on the audience.
No. That's when you were paying when you were paying yourself out and paying the audience out. I was like, not a bad hole. It's a good hole.
Yeah.
But it sometimes you can set up a trap.
Yeah, you can.
That all they want is crowd work from then on.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they don't want any jokes. But I had full faith in you. I thought he's going to know how to pull out of this.
Yeah.
I think the coolest thing that you do, and I thought maybe it was the wrong thing until I saw like a person like you do it, is you cut jokes midway and then just go with the crowd.
Oh yeah, I do that. Yeah, I did that a bit because there was shit going on in the room. Like there was a baby.
Yeah.
Sort of not crying, but I went, "What's that noise? What's a baby?" Yeah. Then I go into a routine about a baby. I rack my head. Yeah. Because I've got, of course, routines about babies. You know, 3 of them. Yeah. But then.
So yeah, it was good, man. I felt nervous. So then I was thinking, if he just does crowd work, which I would, it's every man for himself at one of these gigs.
Yeah.
At that stage, you're going to be.
Well, I was going to do 10 minutes to bring you on. Then I thought, fuck, I'll just do most of my time now.
It's fine. Yeah.
Just do it now.
And then it went great. So they were keen for. I said this to you before. I think. There was a bit of chatter up the back, but when I got on, because you introduced me as an act, they were like, "Oh, look, we better."
Yeah, there's a comedy act.
So it was a bit of an easy road for me, really.
I know you were funny, but it was hard to know where to pitch the jokes because we had 2 little kids who were like 5 or 6 sitting by the side of the stage. Yeah, and then we had old ladies, and then like young blokes, farmers, like. All sorts there, basically.
Did you have that middle-aged kind of lady cracking up at that table all the time, to the left?
Oh, yeah.
She was great. People like that keep you going.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, because there's a few guys just sitting there staring at you. I just ignore them.
Yeah, but there was that good crack. Whenever you got a good laugh, they really piped up. It was great. So, yeah, man, a good gig, but...
And we got in and out pretty quick, I got to say. How hilarious we get there. And... I said to these young guys, because I brought a spotlight along, which was handy, we needed it. And I set up the light, and I go to these young guys, you live around here? And he goes, no, I grew up around here, but I live in Preston and work in Collingwood. Then he goes, where do you work? I'm like, this is it, mate. That's just a funny question.
Oh, man, that's so funny.
Where do you work? I go, do you think I have another job?
Yeah.
This is it, mate.
Yeah, this is it.
I suppose if they don't see you on TV or whatever, they just go, oh, yeah, you know.
Yeah. It is so, and there was a bloke called Dave O'Neill.
Yeah, with 1 L. No, 2 L's. Yeah, 2 L's.
2 L's.
That was the other thing that I learned off you, which I've done before. So on these reverse draw things, they have a board on stage with everyone's name, and then they draw out their number and they get crossed off. So you're left with the one person left wins the money, but they've got all their names up there. Yeah. So you pointed and you said someone's name. Okay, whose name did you say?
Brock. His name was Brock. Yeah.
And then I went, oh man. And so I just, after I went on after you, when my act started to lull, I just went to the board and went, where's Gummy? And everyone goes, mental.
Yeah.
And then I said, I don't want to know what he got his nickname for.
Yeah, that was great.
Gummy.
See, that is also another thing you just see with experience. I saw that as a way to to get to another bit, but you saw it as a whole opportunity.
A whole bit, yeah. Oh yeah, there were some great names. Reese Otto, I said, was a German backpacker. Old Reese.
Oh, that was great.
It's comedy.
And it was funny because they were getting a bit rowdy before then.
Yes.
The board. Get
back to the board.
Oh man, he's calling people's names out. It's crazy. I wonder who he's going to do next.
Fucking hell.
Take that, you bastard.
It's funny when you get to some names like Carol McInnes. I say, where's Carol? I think she was that middle-aged woman.
Yeah.
I just go, lovely name, Carol, and just move on.
yeah.
How can I hang shit on a middle-aged woman? It's too hard.
No.
It was,
Oh, it was.
It was comedy gold.
It was a good gig, but you never know.
Mate, those gigs can turn.
That's it.
Country gigs, they do tend to be pretty. They're not mean-spirited. They want you to do well, but sometimes they can't control the drunk young blokes. There's something going on there, but no, it was good fun. It's because you've come back from Thailand and Malaysia, haven't you? You've come back from
I did the Little Dum Dum Club podcast.
I've never heard. What's that? It's a very popular.
It's a very popular podcast that Dave O'Neill goes on and insults the audience a lot, which is great.
I think it's a very popular podcast.
Yep.
And it's been very good for you, that podcast.
Yeah. I mean, not as good as the Debrief. So many. All the Debrief fans.
They were all there tonight. They just didn't mention it. There's no mention of the Debrief. But...
I was thinking, because most podcasts have a live show.
Yeah.
How are you going to do the Debrief live?
Are you
going to get a fake car or something?
Well, someone did say that. I think the producer wanted to do that, but I'm just like, you just do it on stage with stools or something, you know what I mean? But I think you have to do it after gigs. I don't think it's...
Okay. Oh, that'd be good.
I think it's going to work...
Like a late show?
Yeah, like a late show. I don't think it's going to work Sunday afternoon, is it? It's got to be...
Yeah.
You could do it in a comedy festival after gigs at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, you could do that,
So you've all turned up from gigs and it's like...
Yep.
The good thing about that is you can get people that you can't... Like Will Anderson.
Yeah.
He's always up for podcasts during the festivals. But he doesn't want to do stand-up, but he's quite happy to come on and talk. So people like that who you don't see around that much, he's not coming to Lake Bolac.
No. Oddly. Not good enough, in my opinion.
He would smash it at Lake Bolac.
He'd totally smash it.
He doesn't have to go to Lake Bolac.
He does not have to.
I've thought about it, but...
But Thailand was good. It was great. We...
did you do your other podcast there? Did you do the Road to Nowhere? Or?
Yeah, Highway to Nothing.
Highway to Nothing.
Which you were
I almost got it right.
Yeah, Road to Nowhere. No, it was we were going to call it that, but too many Google searches. So Highway to Nothing was,
Road to Nowhere is a Talking Heads song.
Yeah, that is a good song. It was great. We did, for those who don't know, 300 fans came to Thailand to see the
Dum Dum Club.
These live podcasts that we did every night.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Oh, it was
incredible feat.
It was incredible. Yeah, Karl, one of the hosts, he goes to Koh Samui.
Podcast.
Yeah, he goes to. He
loves Thailand.
Oh, he loves it. Yeah, and he goes to kind of. He doesn't go to like Hooters or Starbucks or anything like that. He supports local.
He goes to the local stuff. Yeah, he loves it.
He just walks into some reggae bar. It's got like two blokes there, and he's like, "Hey, what would it be like? What can you do for us if I bring 300 people here tomorrow?" And they're like, "Oh, let me call my manager."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was amazing, and so then I went and did some gigs in Singapore.
Yeah, right.
And that was good. Yeah, crowds were a bit small because of the World Cup. But the Mary Line, a really nice guy, runs it, Scott, and it was great. Yeah, a lot of expats. The first night didn't go so well. There was like 5, I think they were French people in the audience, and 4 of them were just kind of like, "Look, we don't understand, but we'll help you out."
Right.
And then, they had just one friend there that was just staring, going, "Oh,
what is this?
What is this? I don't want to." It was very off-putting.
Well, me and you did the European bar the other night in Melbourne, and there were about 6 French kids there. They were like all first year. They were exchange students.
Oh, really?
And I said to him, I was talking to him afterwards, and I'm like, he goes, yeah, we get the cultural references. We have our own, because like Harley Breen, a few people mentioned Queensland. Yeah, as a redneck place. He goes, we say that about the north of France. So.
Oh yeah, that's like Welcome to the Sticks, that movie? Have you seen it?
Yeah, no.
Oh, it's great. It's really funny.
Is it French?
Yeah, it's about this guy who has to work in the north.
My brother's told me about this. My brother lives in Switzerland. He talks about this movie, so it's really funny.
Oh yeah, and he goes there and he's like, "This is going to be the worst time ever," and then he actually has the best time ever. But he's got to lie to his wife and say, "Oh, I have to go again," and yeah, it's really funny. But yeah, the Singapore gigs were great. There's a lot of expats there, and there's Singapore people have great English.
Yeah.
And then the Malaysian gigs, Kuala Lumpur was amazing. I forget, an Australian guy helps run it, John Atherton.
Oh, Jonathan Atherton?
Jonathan Atherton.
Yeah, I know Jonathan Atherton. He's been around as long as I have. Yeah. He's a Brisbane comic. He's a very good comic. But he walks with a limp because he said he got shot in a swamp in Thailand or something, he told me.
Apparently he's an A1 nutball. But kind of...
Yeah, he was in the paper. He got arrested on a plane. He got dragged off a plane. I can't remember what he was doing. Yeah. But he is a good comic, Jonathan Atherton.
Yeah.
He's very good.
And him and this other guy, Razel, and there's another fella, but I didn't meet him, but Razel, the greatest bloke ever, they set up this room, the Crack House Comedy.
Maybe it's a new market.
In KL.
It's a new market for us.
Yeah, hopefully.
Asia.
It was great.
Maybe you could move there. There's guys, like American guys, that have moved to Japan and they're massive celebrities in Japan.
Well, that's funny.
There's a comic who hosts a show there. You could be that in Malaysia.
Man, I would love to do that. Kappa, the king of Malaysia.
Kappa, the king of Malaysia. What happened to Kappa? Yeah. Moved to Malaysia, got his own TV show.
Yeah.
What? Well, I suppose a lot of Americans have done that here in Australia. You know what I mean? Like, British people move here all the time. So. Well,
there was an American guy there, and he was quite a handsome fella, and he did open mics and stuff like that, and he said, yeah, man, he goes, I'm a salesman, he sells sports goggles or something, yeah, right. But he said, I lost 20 kilos, and I started looking good, and then I get heaps of acting work here, because they
want a European person, yeah, right.
Yeah. So I could do that. They'd say, well, we want a wonky fucking...
curly
want a
hair.
Weird-looking bloody...
So it looks a bit like Weird Al.
Yeah. We want someone to put us off our product.
Imagine that, moving to one of those markets. You could meet a girl. That's often what happens. You meet a girl, have a partner, you have a kids, and you end up... Like my twin brother lives in Switzerland, so he could be nailing the Swiss comedy scene, but...
No, what an idiot.
Not to.
He's got that funny O'Neill blood as well, going to waste.
Should. Exactly. There's 4 boys in my family, and 2 of us are funny and 2 aren't.
Yep.
My mum says she introduces Mark as the really funny one.
Yeah.
So
is your brother Mark funnier than you? Would you say?
Mark is funny. Yeah. He is funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my brother is. Yeah, probably.
But we all know. But you work in factories or shops, and you meet guys or girls that are the funniest people.
Right, yeah.
And you go, if you can only translate that to stage, what you're doing, you would be. But I remember I hosted Raw Comedy in Geelong once, years ago. 2 guys got up, individual stand-ups. They worked in the same service station. Yeah. One of them was fucking hilarious. The other one was good, like serviceable. But both their first gigs ever. Yeah. One of them was already, could be, huge. Yeah. And I said to these guys, the main thing is that you guys just don't give up comedy at this stage. You've got to keep doing it. Yeah. I never saw them again. Never.
Did you write down their jokes?
Yeah, I should.
That's what we always want to do. There's this great comic from Sydney, Shane Matheson. We always wanted to go to the Triple J Raw comedy finals.
And do his jokes.
And write down all the good jokes from the beginner stand-ups and give it a 4 to 5 year cooling off period. Right. And then if they don't show up on the scene, then we just
they're yours.
Yeah.
Or you say, I did that first.
Yeah.
I did that first.
It is. I've got a couple of mates from the country, and they're funnier than me. I feel ashamed doing jokes in front of them. They're hilarious.
Oh man! And some of the guys you used to hang out with in your youth, when it was all just about making each other laugh when you were teenagers. And some of the guys you think back to at high school, you're like, man, they should have been comedians.
Yeah.
But they do a computer course or whatever.
Yeah.
They go into real estate.
They actually get good jobs.
They go. They're not.
They're not driving a lake.
It's interesting because when I started comedy, that's often the reason people start. There was no sort of career back then. People just started doing comedy.
Yeah.
Not because it was the last resort, but it was kind of was. It was like, well, what else am I going to do?
Yeah.
Whereas I reckon now people do see a career in it.
Yeah,
that's why you get more wealthier kids doing it. Because back in the day, you would occasionally get those kids coming through uni reviews because they've been law students. Like the DGen guys, they're law students. They see that they start making good, they're funny, they make good money in comedy.
Yeah.
But most of the other comedians were just bloody, like guys on the dole.
Yeah.
I don't know, what's it like now? Hey, Fire World Museum.
Oh,
there is a museum of Fire World in this country town. Man, would you love to go to the Fire World Museum?
I wonder what that is.
Well, imagine if we broke into it and got arrested. What is the Steamside Cafe? Where are we?
There's 3 really good comedians. Greg Larson, he's on Tonightly.
Oh yeah, he's funny, Greg Larson.
And Henry Stone, I think he directs.
I know Henry Stone. He's
a lot
Brisbane.
Now. And Sam Campbell, and they drove to.
They're all Brisbane comics.
They're all Brisbane guys. Yeah. And one time years ago, they drove from Brisbane to Sydney, and they stayed at my place. And I said, "Oh, why did you guys stay the night somewhere? You didn't do the 10-hour drive?" And they said, "Yeah, we stopped at Foster." And they broke into this place called Fantasy Glades, and I went there when I was a kid. Foster Tuncurry.
Like a fun park.
Yeah, it was like a fun park that had all this. Even the ad was scary. It was like dreams come true at Fantasy Glades, and they said it was this.
I love a shit theme park.
Oh man, they said it was this because it had closed down then. Fantasy Glades, so they said it was just.
A decrepit theme park.
Absolutely scary, yeah. You had big Cinderella statues and toadstools and gnomes and witches and stuff, and they said it was the scariest thing they've ever done.
Oh my god! And they slept there.
Broke into Fantasy Glades. I don't know what they did. They were pretty loose.
They're loose units.
Loose units, yeah.
Probably even looser back then.
Yeah. In answer to your question before, what's comedy like now? I'd say.
Who gets into comedy?
Yeah, I think everyone does now.
Yeah, you're right.
Everyone.
Well, there's more women, definitely, than when I started. There weren't that many women at all.
Oh, yeah, and it's great. Yeah. I think a lot of women are a lot better, than, a lot of men. For the small factor of women that do go in, the percentage rate is way up.
Yeah. Well, I've got boys and a girl.
Yeah.
In my kids.
Yeah.
And it's a fact. Girls talk more than boys. They just talk more and communicate more. So, theoretically, girls should be better stand-ups because they use words every day more often than boys.
Yeah.
Boys just grunt a lot and stuff. Yeah. But the girls really do communicate.
Well, I find that the girls talk about a lot more interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Guys just want to talk about their dicks.
Yeah. Young guys.
Oh, man.
Or having sex.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Yeah, or masturbating. Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah. So...
well, things haven't changed then.
It's good, but I think showbiz in general has changed.
Yeah.
Not to call the Australian scene showbiz.
Well, because of the internet, it's changed.
I think it's changed, yeah, because I think, back in your day or whatever, you could be a Greg Fleet, bloody write some stuff or whatever, but you could just party and still just come up with stuff on the fly.
Yeah.
But now everyone's sitting down, everyone's writing. People are doing Twitter. Pumping out 5 tweets a day. People are. It's like that in music as well now. You're not just a musician anymore.
You've got to market yourself.
There's anomalies.
Yeah.
There's obviously people that are too good that just don't even need any of that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But there's I think that's the. I remember but even, I don't know, I guess maybe that rock star stuff's a bit of a lie sometimes. You read about Guns N' Roses, right? I remember I was fascinated with them because they all lived in a house together, and the only way they made money is David Quirk's got a good joke about it. How, I think Slash and Duff McKagan were having a threesome.
Right.
And this girl was on, and Slash came and he jizzed on Duff McKagan's leg.
Right.
And he said, first thing Duff said was, "We need to get a bigger place." Because I was sharing this bunk bed or something.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And so apparently, they lived in this house together. They used to have parties. They used to steal off everyone who went to the parties. That's kind of the way they lived. Yeah, they're all crazy on drugs and stuff. But I think for Slash to play guitar that good, and there must have been someone on the phone. It must have been one of the band members that was working hard. Like
yeah, or they had a really good manager.
You can't write "Sweet Child of Mine" and just write it in an hour. There would have been some days where they would have worked weeks straight or something.
You'd think so.
But
who were the? I mean, I was in a band a long time ago, and there's always one, two, or maybe three people that are the driving force.
Yeah,
so I wonder who the driving force was in that band. Yeah, because like Kasabian.
Yep.
One guy writes all the songs, the guitarist.
Oh, really? Okay.
He writes nearly all the songs. Mm-hmm. And so you've often got that guy.
Yeah.
That just drives it.
Yeah. Well, Axl was a choir boy, and then he went crazy. Yeah. But I think you do have exceptions, like the Stooges. Yeah. I read their book, and they were addicted to television.
Oh wow!
And then they just play an hour a day, but they would play the hardest and craziest they could.
And then go back to TV.
Yeah, and then they just watch TV again. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they were addicted.
Back in those days, it would have only been 4 channels, probably.
Oh yeah, exactly. They watched it in a big barn. And
but when the Beatles would record, because it was in the 60s or whatever, they would just record 9 to 5.
Really?
Yeah, so they'd turn up and George Martin would be sitting there in his suit. All right, boys, let's lay down some tracks. And when it got to 5, it was just like, all right, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw a documentary about it or something. Whereas in the 70s, of course, it was all, let's just stay all night and fucking... When we did a single in my band, we went to this guy who played in Little River Band.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it was a claim to fame. He played in a lineup of Little River... There's been a lot of people in Little River Band.
Yep.
And he'd be working with us, and we were like teenagers, really. And he's like, this song, I just can't fucking get a handle on it. I'm just thinking, go upstairs, I'm going to make some STD phone calls, because my phone here... you can't make STD phone calls on this. Is back in the days before mobiles. Mm-hmm. You can't make STD phone calls on it. So we go upstairs. You'd smell this smell wafting down. Smell like rosemary or he's having a joint. Right? Yeah. We were young and naive, and he comes down. And he goes, "Right, okay, I've got it. We're going to have a key change." Because this guy was accused of recording Australian Crawl's first album, and when they went home, he played all the instruments. He just played them himself.
Oh, really?
Which I don't know if that's true or not, because he said, they couldn't fucking play. So I played them all. What? Anyway, good times.
People like that make you so jealous.
They got good stories.
Oh, man.
Well, whenever I do a voiceover, there's always like a tech guy doing the tech stuff. And I always say, did you used to work in bands? Because often those sound guys come from mixing at gigs, yeah?
Yep.
And this guy goes, yeah, I worked in bands and I had my own recording studio. I go, all right, who's the biggest guy you've worked with? And he goes, David Bowie.
Really?
Like, what? He goes, yeah, I did the David Bowie Tin Drum album or something, he said.
Oh, was that when David Bowie...
He said he did in Australia. It was the second one. The second Tin Drum, I think he said.
Yeah, that was when he was in Sydney and no one recognised him.
Yes.
And he loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, he said he was a lovely bloke.
My uncle, he runs a rehearsal studio in Perth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I said, who's the biggest band you've had through? And I think it was, who was it? I think it was Eskimo Joe.
Eskimo Joe.
Yeah, I think it was Eskimo. Yeah, but it's a real funny place. It's got a Space Invaders arcade machine. It's just basically carpet in 4 different rooms,
Oh.
Yeah, he plays in a country and bluegrass band with my other uncle, and they're really good.
So how is he related to you, though? What side of the family?
He's my grandma's brother's son.
Okay.
Yeah. So my grandma was born in Fremantle. The Fremantle Hotel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fremantle's a good place.
Yeah, I love it.
Good vibe to it.
Absolutely beautiful. I'd move to Perth if it was, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
If there was more work there.
My dad's from Perth.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful.
Kev's from Perth.
Oh.
We used to drive on the Nullarbor in the 70s.
Oh, really?
Dad drove across from Perth to Melbourne in a Volkswagen Beetle.
Jesus.
Yeah, when it was all not bitumen. With a mate, he said.
My brother and I drove from Moree to Kalgoorlie. Took us 4 days in a Daihatsu Charade.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Well, we wanted jobs in the mines, so
did that work out or?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, we got our mining licenses in Brisbane, and then our sister didn't get her driver's license, so she just had this little shitty Daihatsu Charade. And it's pretty funny. We left from Moree, went to Bourke, stayed in Bourke, and then if you want to go from Bourke to Laos, there's two different roads. There's like an unsealed road.
What's
Is it
Laos?
Yeah,
It's
Laos. It's a country town. Oh, it's also a country.
Country in Asia.
Yeah. But I think it's Laos is the name of the place. Or anyway, there's two different roads, and the unsealed road cuts out, I don't know, 150 kilometres or something.
Yeah,
120
right.
kilometres. Then we stopped and we were in this little Daihatsu Charade, and we said to this lady who'd just driven through there, "Hey, will we be right getting through this mud in this Daihatsu Charade?" And she said, "Yeah, you'll be right, no worries."
Oh, no.
So we're just flying along at this dirt road, and all of a sudden it was just like kunk, like there were these divots, really deep divots in the ground, and you couldn't see them. You'd only see them a metre or two before, and you just jam on the brakes, but you'd still hit it. And every time you got your confidence up, you hit another one, and we're like, "Fuck, the car's going to explode!" Like it would bottom way out. And then we got to this mud, and it was this red mud.
Yeah, and that can be dangerous.
Oh, it was awful. We thought we're not going to get through this, and we got through it. We drove it through water. We
Bloody
thought,
hell.
the water started running in where the feet was.
What?
Yeah, and we had mud all up the side of it, and it got through, and we went along to Broken Hill, and I think we stayed in Port Augusta.
Oh, yeah.
And then we went from there to Cactus Beach. I forget the name of the place. Just after the Nullarbor.
Yeah.
Well, there's good waves there.
Yeah, right.
And then we went from there to this place near Kalgoorlie called Balladonia.
God.
And we're at this pub in Balladonia, and this bloke, we were just having a few beers, and this bloke walks up to us. He goes, hey boys, I work for a 4-wheel drive magazine. I was just going to see if I could take a few photos of you guys playing pool or whatever and having a few drinks. I said, yeah, no problem, mate. And he took the photos. It was great. He bought us a few drinks. And then I said, oh mate, what you got a good 4-wheel drive or something? He said, yeah, and he had a Hummer. And this big Hummer that was all decked out with the roof racks and everything. And he said, I said, mate, if you really want to test that thing out, you should go on this road from Bourke to Laos, via Laos or something. Bourke to Broken...
Yeah, the one you just been on.
It was Bourke to Wilcannia. Sorry,
right.
Went to Wilcannia. Oh, you'd love Wilcannia. Man, it's...
What's in Wilcannia?
Oh, it's this small town. It's one of those kind of Aboriginal towns.
Yeah.
And it's got this golf club. It's got the Wilcannia Golf Club, and it's an absolute fort. Like it's just a gravel paddock.
Yeah, right.
You can't even see the golf course. It's just gravel. There's nothing green there, and it's just got this big fort with cameras and a fence, like
yeah, right.
I don't know, 10 foot high, and it's just a white building with this, 2 or 3 fences and barbed wire and stuff.
Yeah, right.
And cameras everywhere. Looks like a prison.
Jesus.
Then you walk in, and it's this absolute casino, like lights and prizes.
Really?
Oh man, yeah, it's crazy.
So did the guy drive on the...
So I said to him, "Oh mate, yeah, you should go on this route." And he said, I said, "We drove it." And he goes, "What were you driving it in?" And I said, I pointed out because the servo was joined to the caravan park, and I said that, and it had the Daihatsu Charade with the mud up it. And he goes, "You're kidding me?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "We were told that we wouldn't get through."
Yeah, right.
So we went another way.
Yeah, you're lucky.
And he took a few photos of it, and he said, I'll do a story or whatever.
Yeah, right.
But we I don't know, I don't think he did a story. We didn't look in the 4-wheel drive magazine or whatever. Yeah, but he wrote down all the notes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, we went through, and then the car didn't let us down. But then we got to, I think, 10 minutes out of Kalgoorlie and got a flat tyre.
Oh, no.
It was a good trip though.
Oh,
yeah.
God. What and how long did you work in the mines for?
A couple of months, yeah, 2 or 3 months.
Was that hard work?
Yes and no, because working on cotton farms,
No, that would.
It's a lot of. It's really hard work, and in the mines, if I just turned up, it was great.
Yeah, right.
They loved you, but I worked in the underground. My brother had 2 days in the underground. He goes, "Fuck this! This is awful." Because I think I was 1.2 k's down.
Whoa! It's really hot, isn't it?
Yeah, it was 45, 50 degrees.
What?
Yeah, and it's muggy. It's a salty muggy.
Yeah, right.
You don't put any of the water on your face because it dries out.
Wow.
If you turn your helmet off, you can't see in front of your face.
Wow.
Someone could be standing directly in front of you.
But what did you do down there?
So I was like a drill assistant. So what they do is so let's say you've got the end of a tunnel, right?
Yeah.
And then to progress, to make that tunnel longer, you've got to put dynamite in it so it blows it, so it makes the tunnel longer.
Yeah, right.
So you blow it out and then you've got to scoop out all the concrete. I mean, scoop out the rubble, then blow it again.
What are you mining for?
Nickel.
Right. Is that easy to see, or how do you have to get it out of the rock? Nickel.
I think you could see little bits, yeah, but you knew when you had a big haul. You saw the face, and it was
wow.
Yeah. It was crazy. So
you drill holes and put the dynamite in?
No, what I did is I drilled. I mean, I didn't do the drill. You have a drill guy, you put different bits on the drill.
Yeah, sure.
But before you drill, you've got to stabilize the area. So you put this stuff called shotcreting, and it's like basically concrete spray.
Oh,
and you spray it on the wall so it stabilizes the wall, and then you put these bolts in the mesh, and so you have the mesh so it's a safe area, and then you have the dynamite guy to come in and he puts it in, and then I got promoted to dynamite and letting the charge off, which was the best job ever. You were last out, but it was the best job because you had the main shaft, which is like, let's say, the trunk of a tree.
Yeah.
And then you had the branches that go off. So what you do is you'd put the dynamite in at the end of one branch, and then you'd lay the coil all the way out, and then you'd have the ute parked in the main shaft, which is, the trunk, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you'd set the charge off through the window of the ute and then just drive as fast as you could, just in case it caved in. Yeah.
So the ute was up on the ground?
No, the ute was down the bottom, like just near let's say the entrance to the tunnel.
Oh my god!
You were blowing. Yeah, and it was so much fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I used to do a routine about it, because this really did happen on my second last day, because they make you do 2 weeks of safety, and this bloke fucking yells at you. It's like prisoner of war camp or something. He's like, if I see any of you fucking pricks fucking doing anything unsafe, you're out, you understand? Like, he just yelled at you for 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
He's like, drive like this, do this.
Like a drill sergeant.
Oh, yeah, it was nuts. And then, but after a while, you just become so laid back. We had competitions to see who could stand closest to the blast, and one bloke did it and his hat blew off. Like that, it was a real big bang. So you got more and more kind of laid back.
Yeah, and cocky. Yeah.
And one time this bloke says, we just got to do a little one in the ceiling that hasn't gone off yet.
Right.
So we went to the top, near the top, and we ran out of wick coil. And he said, "Look, it's only a little one."
Is that the coil that you?
Yeah, the wick, like in cartoons.
Wick coil. Right.
It's actually like that. It's like a long wick. And
does it spark as it goes along? Or?
Oh no, it doesn't do that. But you have like this electronic charge. And you turn it. And we ran low on wick coil, and he goes, "Look, we could drive all the way down to the bottom and get it, or we could just set it off here. It should be fine." And he turned the switch, and this rush, I'd never felt anything like it. And I don't know, like the smoke came so fast, and the rubble, I don't know how, but I was transported to the back of the ute. I don't remember running. I must have did it in one leap.
Yeah, right.
Like from the front of the ute, because we were just sitting on the front, like just chilling. And the smoke cleared, and I had a firm grip of this bloke's hips, like a real firm grip. Like in the joke, I said I had it on his ass.
Yeah, right.
But it was a real firm grip on the side of his hips. It was just a real weird moment. I thought, oh, this is it. I'm gonna die. The second last day on the job. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, so it was like compared to cotton farm work.
Yeah.
It was hard in different ways, and it was so hot, and it was so crazy. But the fact that I rocked up every day,
they love that,
and I had a good attitude because they all whinge.
Yeah.
They're like, don't mean to insult miners, but a lot of the people I worked with in the underground, it was the bottom of the barrel for them. Like it was right. Like I knocked up some girl and I have no qualifications, come to the mines.
Yeah, right.
So there was no sarcasm there. It was real weird.
Yeah,
it was like the weirdest.
How long were the shifts?
12 hours, yeah.
Whoa.
So you'd have 4 days on, 4 days off.
Yeah, right.
And Kalgoorlie was the most boring town ever.
Right, was it?
Yeah. So it was a great experience. I always wanted to return with a partner, because then you could share a room, because rent is so dear there.
Yeah.
It's more expensive than Melbourne. And make a whole heap of money and travel somewhere. But yeah,
never happened. Could still happen.
No, I don't think. My brother and I did the calculations, and you start on so much money there. But we took in the fact that you're doing something you don't like doing.
Yeah.
And you're working with people you don't want to work with.
Yeah.
You're better off just having not much money in a big city for a while.
Yeah.
And work. If you work hard enough, you'll work your way up to the big money.
What did you do for lunch?
Oh, you took your own lunch.
You took your own lunch.
Yeah, if you didn't take your lunch, you were fucked.
Yeah. There's no canteen in the mine.
No.
But would you have a proper lunch break, or just get on with it? Like,
you got on with it most of the time. Yeah. Well, it depends which. I got promoted straight to the good crew.
Yeah. Right.
And I got promoted with a lot of country blokes, and it was a bit of a sad story. A few of them were either they had their farms lost in the drought.
Yeah, right.
And they went there to make money.
Yeah, right.
And they were all the hard workers with great attitudes. They never whinged in the mornings or whatever. There's a lot of blokes there, and they just whinge. They just go, all right, there was a bus that would come and pick you up, take you to the mine.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, yeah, it was unsafe. The steps a little rickety, or the air conditioning was up too high. And they take any excuse not to work.
Oh, fuck, really?
Yeah. You have these isolation chambers in case there's a cave-in. And the amount of time you spend in those, if you're in a bad crew where they just didn't do any work, and the time would not fly at all.
Yeah.
But I got picked with this really good bloke, and he used to yell at me to go, come on, get this drill bit, get that bit. He really had some initiative.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And the boss was real sad to see me leave. But saying that, I was so shit on cotton farms. Like, my dad hated me the whole time I worked for him. But in the mines, I was a king.
Mate, you're the king. Hope you told your dad.
So that shows the differences.
Stuff, farming, mining's for me, Dad. Well, you're listening to the Debrief with Nick Capper, Dave O'Neill. We're still driving.
Guys, I know I'm never serious on here, and I love a ribbing as much as the next guy. But can the jokes about my body odour please stop? I try my best and use deodorant constantly, but it's never enough. It's a chronic condition that I'm seeking treatment for. That's all. Have a good festival, everyone. Was that a real Facebook post that I wrote, or did Mike G write that and temporarily ruin my fucking life?
Listen up to me, Mike Goldstein, and fellow comedian Nick Capper.
We are going to go through each other's phones and ruin each other's lives on our podcast, The Phone Hacks.
Available where all good podcasts are, and please help validate our embarrassment.
So tune in.
Phone Hacks.
We're back on the Debrief. Nick Capper.
Yeah.
The questions I ask. So what went well tonight and why?
What went well tonight and why? I think what went well was I was loud.
Oh yeah.
Quick
to get their attention.
But I once again, Dave, I did take a risk. But it was I think the risks I take, I was like, oh, this was such a fucking far out place. I didn't know whether we were going to, so is this gig going to go ahead, Dave, or are we going to get eaten?
Yeah, that's right.
And that went really good for some reason.
Yeah,
it was just a throw off.
They loved it.
So, yeah, I was loud, kind of meshed in with them, told them I was from the country. You helped me with that.
They love that, yeah.
So I did that and just kept it punchy. I just kept
punching.
Kept punching.
And what didn't go well?
I think what didn't go well was a few bits that were a bit longer.
Oh, yeah. If you get into stories, they're like, what?
Yeah, for some reason the Gundawindi bits didn't go that well.
Yeah, which you think would go really well.
I thought they would have gone well.
They're funny routines.
And I when I'm up there, what else didn't go well? I think I get stiff up there. Sometimes when I go into like hard hitting comedy mode where I just want to do all my jokes.
Oh, yeah.
I get stiff up there and I forget to be a person.
Get to be a bit loose.
Get to be a bit loose, and that's what I got to remember when I do those gigs. Because you got to remember at the end of the day, that's why you're doing it. Because
fun.
You're so good at that. You're always kind of stepping and moving.
Oh,
and I think people like that because they always think, "Oh, I wonder if he's coming up with this on the spot." Yeah. So I always forget that stuff. I've got to get better at that.
Were the organisational hazards got in the way?
Yeah.
Children, little kids.
Yeah. I guess the pockets of
talking.
Yeah. Maybe we probably should have filled the bloke in. Maybe said, "Oh yeah, if there's people talking on the back,
tell them to shut up."
Yeah, just tell them to shut up.
Yeah,
we should do that next time.
And how can we do better next time? We'll do that.
Do that. I think that's the only thing really. Just tell
brief the guy. Tell him to give me a better introduction.
Yeah, brief him. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So as he gave me the briefest introduction ever, someone in the crowd went, "Great introduction, Gary," or whatever he said. Yep.
That's a bit of a throwaway line I do, and you probably do sometimes. You kind of did it tonight, where the guy introducing you, they're usually shit scared, or they accidentally do a joke, and you go, "Oh, give it up for bloody Gary." Hey, he's a hard act to follow. You know.
yes. Well, as I said during the other night when these guys made their corporate speeches, I said, "Thanks for that, Gary. I needed a nap." So that was awesome. Your talk, because he talked in such a monotone. This guy, I really did fall asleep.
Once I did a gig in Shepparton, and the bloke, it was this really old guy, and there was no drinks. It was in this sports, those really boring sports complexes or entertainment complexes where they kind of have a seat and a desk, where they must have exams and stuff as well.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it's tiered seating.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And they kind of sit there and they got like a little. Anyway, there was no
like a lecture theatre.
Yeah, like a lecture theatre. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, they. It was kind of like that, and there was no drinks, no food, and I said to the bloke, "Look," he goes,
"What was the gig for?"
It was a fundraiser for Apex.
Yep. Apex, the gang, great. They need money.
Yeah, they need money. Yeah.
Like Apex, like the Lions Club.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It could have been the Lions Club. Yeah. And the guy was that old. He was scared. He was so. He said, "Is there anything I can do for you?" And I said, "Yeah, man. Can you bring me on?" And he was that scared. He didn't know my name. He's like, I think Danny McGinlay was a headliner, and he's like, "This is Danny Capleton," something like that. The poor guy, he was.
Yeah, they get nervous. Yeah.
Oh man! And I made a joke about it, and they thought it just came off as mean.
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
Don't pick on it, man.
You don't want to be too mean. Oh boy. Well, we get back to our driving now. What song should we play? We'll drop a song.
What have we done in the past ones? Did Ween?
Oh, you did Ween.
Something else.
Something else that Tolkien had on his phone.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what do you listen to at the moment? We've talked about Guns N' Roses. We've talked about Eskimo Joe.
Yeah. What am I listening to? Oh, I have been listening to a really good, one of my favourite albums ever, California by Mr. Bungle.
Oh, Mr. Bungle.
Yeah, it's a very good album. It's so eclectic. There's a great song on there called Vanity Fair.
Okay, well, yeah, I of course know Mr. Bungle, but I don't really remember their music.
Oh, it was all over the place.
Yeah, it was sort of experimental, wasn't it?
Yeah, very. It had Mike Patton from Faith No More.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but the last album, California, is incredible. It's
well, let's play that.
Yeah.
Let's play Vanity Fair.
Yeah.
Now, Nick, people can find you on Twitter and
yes,
Facebook.
Twitter, Facebook, Kappa Flapper.
Greatest Twitter handle ever.
Yeah, and I also have a podcast on the Nearly label. We have the same producer.
Oh yeah, you're doing the one with Mike G.
Yeah, Mike G, phone hacks.
Now what do you do in that? You go through each other's phone?
Yeah, we go through each other's phones and we get a guest's phone, and we can also do punishments.
I've seen some of them on Twitter.
Yeah, the other day I did one on Facebook and I got a couple of messages about it. So Mike G pranked me and put this status up, and I was like, mate, is it okay if I take this one down? I think I'm going to get lynch mobbed.
What did it say?
You know got that great comedy special, and I loved it, Nanette. Okay,
yeah,
Hannah Gadsby did.
Yes. Don't say you put something negative or something about it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So he did that as a joke.
Yeah, so he got to punish me. We roll a dice, so you get to. So it's either text to a relative. So he wrote a text to my relative once.
Oh, I know, I saw that.
Yeah.
What was it? I keep having dreams about you, Uncle Bob.
Yeah, I keep my Uncle Guy. I said I keep having dreams that we 69.
See, I couldn't do that. I wouldn't want to say that to one of my uncles.
Oh, it was terrible.
Said that to Uncle Barry, my uncle. What the hell?
It's the worst fucking podcast in the world. We both say it. Fuck this podcast.
Oh, that sounds good.
On his Twitter, I wrote R.I.P. Dad.
Well, everyone listen to it. I've heard a bit of it. It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.